When you see this going on all over the world, it's a reminder that our capitalist economic system is the most successful anywhere. And it enables us to grow our own food, to provide our own health care, to create shelter, to make clothing, in other words, to take care of ourselves. Government's constant effort to regulate it, tax it, and manipulate it, redistributing wealth, nationalizing businesses, this is what creates poverty, dislocations, misery. You can see all these authoritarian and totalitarian regimes. It destroys the civil society. In our country, our government simply has too much power over our natural resources, choking off coal, choking off oil production, driving up fuel prices, and creating dislocations of some sort. Ethanol policies, driving up the price of food in this country. All government-driven. The Federal Reserve monetizing the debt to give a temporary bump in the economy to help Obama. That is printing money to buy our own debt rather than simply and only maintaining a stable currency, which is the job of the Federal Reserve. These are economically destructive policies. They are authoritarian policies that are enforced on our society by a small elite, but they have a real and deleterious effect on our people. Housing, unemployment, the value of the currency. There are other lessons. When the law bends to enforce increasingly authoritarian decisions, the law ceases to be a tool for a stable society. The law ceases to be moral. This is why the Constitution must be complied with. This is why we revere it. This is why when top officials ignore it or manipulate it, whether the president and Congress or judges, they endanger the foundation of this society. Because in lieu of the Constitution comes political expediency, which leads, ultimately, to anarchy, which you see right now in these other countries. And when we see efforts, as we did last week, a pretext to stifle free speech protected by the First Amendment, members of Congress actually talking about introducing laws to limit what we can say, or other efforts by the government, including attacks on the Supreme Court's Citizen United case, which simply expanded free speech. Well, we shouldn't be cheering on officials and their supporters for defying the Constitution. These efforts are a direct attack on our civil society. There are efforts underway right now to regulate and control the Internet, talk radio, free political speech during elections. This is why we, a free people, oppose all of this. We see what's going on in Egypt. We see what goes on in these other places. The president and his party are even proposing that the federal government have the power with the flick of a switch to shut down the Internet. Well, look what happens. They shut down the Internet in Egypt. Why would we do that? Why would we give our government that kind of power? We Americans know better than our politicians that our country is in fact exceptional because our society and our form of government are not like any others. This is why we reject demands that we copy the Europeans. This is why we reject the constant lectures from the president and others who insist that America is basically no different than any other society. Yes, we are different, and thank God we are different. Our nation was founded on respect for the individual. Our nation was founded on respect for private property rights. That is, respect for your labor. Our society was founded on respect for traditions and institutions tested over time which improve our communities. And as long as we remain that kind of a society, a free society, where the individual has value, where his labor is protected, that is his private property, where the government is limited and dispersed and constitutional, we won't suffer what they suffer today in Egypt, and they suffer in other countries all over the world. Because America is better, because America embraces the civil society, and America embraces constitutional republicanism. And when we embrace capitalism, we feed ourselves, we clothe ourselves, and we house ourselves. The only thing that can get into the way of us continuing to be a prospering society is the central government.